Eo, Elhaz, Soilo, Soilo, Manas, In, Odin Vili Ve, Hilgen, Munin, Hammer, hallow and hold this holy stead, in me and of me, Asgard, Midgard. Lords and ladies, tonight we work the runes aright. So shall it be done. And it is done. Herr Doktor Vrilock here. Welcome to Planet Vrilock. Well, the world is full of challenges, is it not? People experiencing changes in society, let alone changes in health. We all do age. No one stays young forever, despite our best efforts. And we can even lose our jobs, properties, and so on. What dictates these changes might be something other than what you ordinarily expect. I, the government. I, neighbors. Co-workers. I, classmates. Maybe. Partners. Absolutely. Whom you do business with. Positively, you're right. But what commands everything in the background? The web of weird. Our modern variant of that is called synchronicity. But as you may have heard on shows like Coast to Coast or other channels in the New Age, this is sort of a mysterious blob out there in the universe. It's sort of far-fetched, remote from your control. Or is it? What I am about to share with you tonight is the mystery of the Orlog. So without further ado, let us begin. Yes, your Orlog controls your lot in life. Everyone has an Orlog. And this is the knowledge that comes to us by word of mouth, by the writings in the runes from our ancient ancestry, the people of the North, who came out and populated the world thereafter, made changes in society, civilizations, and shared knowledge. Yes, once upon a time, knowledge was shared. Now everything is classified by the state, yeah. That's why we don't like the state too much. Too much control. Everything is classified. It's on a need-to-know basis. But what I want to talk to you about tonight is your Orlog. Everything that you need to know on a need-to-know basis. It is tied into your Orlog. Power that you have or don't think that you have is within your Orlog, your lot in life. It is controlled by this. Let me tell you a story of why this is so important, knowing something about your Orlog. The bottom line is that you will have battles without end, no end in sight, if you do not learn about your Orlog, and only the runes and the power of Vril can release you. So let's talk about where I was 20, 30 years ago. I had used all manner of magic and finally realized the best way to bring myself contracts, freelance, jobs, and gigs. And At length, I created this wonderful thought form to bring me the job that I wanted, and I did dowsing to find where are the best locations. I used all of my various psychic, magic, and psionic knowledge to help me find what I needed. So, around in my very early 30s, I locked in on a company that would be the best job I ever would have. I became a technical writer for a very prestigious engineering company. And before that, I had performed writing contracts for a variety of industries. Telecommunications software, agricultural engineering, ranging from anything between sprinklers and drip lines for major agricultural products, and then moving on into software, and then of course some military projects in engineering, among other things. Heart pacers. I also did medical technology, technical writing. So I finally found this one company, and everything was great. Most of the people there liked me 90-something%. I liked most people there. Everything was good. And then, word had it that they were going to pay for my education at some point. And at that time, I had been pulling some money out to put myself back into school to finish my degree. But things went wrong. At length, I was told I was going to be let go. I said, oh, no, I could work for less. If it's a problem with the budget for the company, I could work for less. Maybe go without benefits. Put me on a contractor basis. Whatever you need, I want to work here. I was building my life there. They knew that I needed that job so that I could finish school, then reapply as an engineer, because that's what I had planned to do. Go from being a technical writer and become an engineer. It didn't happen. They let me go. And I reflected at how bad it felt, how angry and betrayed I felt. I mean, I had built a life, a social life there at work. Assurance of completing my education, people motivating me at work to do that. A lot of praise and thanks for my work. I mean, I was a top of the line technical writer. Every weekend when I went home, aside from my school studies for college, I also took out additional studies for engineering and technical writing. I learned everything I could learn about flowcharts, documenting, sharing and linking documents across an intranet network. I did computer software studies. I did everything. So that meant giving up going to the movies on the weekends. I was doing everything for this company. And they let me go. So yeah, I felt really, really bad. To make matters worse, I lived in an apartment. Not only facing the possibility of not being able to pay rent, not being able to buy food, having to sell off my school textbooks, whatever we could do, I had to put up with a corrupt apartment manager, a corrupt city, corrupt cops, crime in the neighborhood, gangbangers everywhere, and these riffraff, some of them looking like organized crime, coming over and banging the whorehouse next door to me, which was right up against our wall. And how many people had I had to use sorcery to remove them from the apartment complex is almost uncountable, with a lot of success. A lot of people ask me about how to do this. A lot of people have asked my former mentor about how to do this, and it does work. But there comes a point when you start to realize that every single time you remove one problem, it's replaced by another, and another, and another. And then I began to realize that the problem went beyond the apartment. The problem went beyond where I had been working. It went beyond the apartment manager. And I took a drive through the city, stopped at a few coffee shops, walked in and out of a few stores, went to a few parks because I didn't have to work, or rather I was let go from work. And I observed my city. Then I went back home and I did some meditation. Sparingly, when the neighbors weren't knocking the neighbors next door. And banging up against the wall, screaming bloody murder. I mean, I didn't know if they were having a sex party or if they were killing someone over there half the time. It was embarrassing. People would walk up and look up into the windows of that apartment over there because they get their free show. The city turned into a cesspool. I mean, it was becoming Gotham City. And I had a choice between, trying, to do the Batman thing and clean it up or move on. I got tired of cleaning it up, so we moved on. Years went by before I stumbled upon the runes. And I had known what the runes were, from a layman's perspective of the runes. I didn't really think anything too much of them, but I kept seeing them. Many coincidences kept happening to me about the runes. So after some years, I decided, all right, I'm going to give these old Viking staves a little bit of work and find out how to study them. I followed Edred Thorson, Robert Blumetti, Gondorson, Parcell, and a number of other authors. And, I did work. And I went on some adventures overseas and discovered the runes in Japan, of all places. I mean, I was expecting to find Japanese kanji magic or something, or some Shinto magic, which I did find some mountain shrines, but I kept running into the runes. Yeah, no matter where I went, I was running into these runes in various ways. So I put in about 7 years of study of the runes and practice, and at length I discovered something called Vril. And through the meditation in communion with the Aesir gods and goddesses, I came into contact with a golden lady who visited upon me because of my practices. Going so well, doing so good. I mean, I spent months meditating on runes such as the Uru's rune to demystify this rune, only finding that there was further and further mystery without end. And it all started to come together, that the universe is put together by code. Coincidence is not coincidence, it is synchronicity. I see other things this way too. The internet, I no longer see it as a bunch of interconnected computers. I see it as electric trees all across the planet. I don't see one programming languages. I see many all tied together, but they are fundamentally part of a technical symbolism. Behind this, life, biology, physiology, chemistry, it's all pattern. Subatomic particles, pattern. The runes, yes, there are primary runes that hold together the entire universe. And our minds, our sanity, depends upon our knowledge of the runes. Society has been run amok without the people having any knowledge of the runes of Vril and something called the Orlog. Which brings us back to my opening of this topic tonight on Planet Vrilock Psionics Podcast. Your Orlog helps you, if you work with it, to shape and change your destiny. Without acknowledgement of the Orlog, we are left to fate, which is not a good thing. We must master the Orlog. So in order to do this, I had to piece together how. And it's tied together, I discovered, through the power of our brow chakra and some prime runes. But it's a journey that must be pieced together carefully and presented with a lot of care and consideration to my students. And that is what I have accomplished with my video course, Vril, Fire and Ice. That's what I want my students to get into now. Build this foundation of Vril power magic now and begin changing things, bending circumstances. You'll be amazed. You watch family members and relatives suddenly change their habits, start to bend and work with you. People who before were combative or resistant will begin to line up and cooperate. Most importantly, you inside yourself are going to feel very good, and you're going to bring this good feeling out and without and around you. And through the runes working with you, you are going to connect with the ancient Aesir gods and goddesses, whom are very real. I've talked about this before. The All-Father Odin is not per se this old bearded man in the clouds with a Viking hat waving around a banner for Asgard. It's a great, great, powerful spirit. Come with me, take this academy, the Vril Fire and Ice video course. Learn what you can now, and then join me in the club and continue this journey to success. Happiness, stability of mind, clearing of negative emotions, hallowing your home, changing your future, bringing romance and happiness back into your life. I wish joy and wunyo to all of you this evening. Take this Vril Fire and Ice video course. You'll be sorry if you don't. Okay, so that concludes our podcast this evening. Do or do not. There is no try. Vrilock.com/shop and keep the magic high. This is Herr Doktor Vrilock signing out.